family is a moderate family number. I have two brother and two sister with my father and mother, and we have myself family. It's my wife, daughter, and son. Our family is a normal family in the society. There is no so big or so small. Uh, I have been living in Baghdad for more than 35 years ago. Uh, my city is a big city, have a lot of shopping center, a lot of building, ministries, and so on.
Thank you very much. What does your family usually do of the weekends? At weekends?
Usually at the weekend, go outside. Last week, I have been visiting a restaurant in Tigris beach side. This restaurant served a lot of garlic fishes called masgouf in traditional food serve. And this restaurant is too famous. It's called Kaduri. This restaurant, uh, beside other different mixture of food served, such as rices, a lot of spices, meat, and so on.
Thank you very much. Do you like going out with with your family?
Sure. To be honest, going to shopping center, going outside, will break the ice for your routinely day life, and makes you express more proper working days again. Give you a lot of brush, a lot of power inside, and change your mood.
Okay. Where would you like to take a holiday if you have the opportunity to?
Um, well, I think the most appropriate place to go maybe in the north of Iraq. It's a mountain area and that have a lot of suitable places of telefric and such as that. And also, if I have a chance to go outside, sure, I will select or choose the Turkey because Istanbul and Turkish cities have a lot of pleasure, a lot of spending good time in that places.
Okay. What was the best holiday you have ever had?
Uh, to be honest, the most interesting holiday I had taken before when I went to London last 2 years. I have been visiting a lot of places, and these places for different time go to many famous streets like Oxford Street, Camden Street, and Harry Potter Station, St. Pancras Station, and so on. So if I have a chance again to go to London, I will guarantee two pleasure to go to the same places and many different places that had I visited before.
Thank you very much. Okay, doctor. Let's talk about the mistakes here. Firstly, you said
Okay.
to. You used to as very. You can't use to as very because to means
Okay.
something negative. Okay?
Okay.
When you say it's too hard, that means you cannot do it easily. When you say it's too expensive, you cannot buy it. Okay, doctor? This is number
Okay.
one. Number two, twice you used will. You should have used would because it's as an imaginative case, an
Okay.
imaginary case. Okay, it's not a real case. Uh,
Okay.
Thirdly, the main mistake also you had when you said I have been visiting. It should have been I have visited London because you are not staying in London yet.
Okay.
Okay, anymore. I mean, you are not
Okay.
staying in London anymore. Another case is that
Yeah. Yeah.
when you said in the last 2 years ago, you can't say in the last 2 years ago. You should have
Yeah.
said since 2 years ago. Sorry, for 2 years ago. Whether you use for 2 years or you use since 2 years ago. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, do you have any questions or should we go on?
I have visited, should not said I have been visiting.
Yes, because
Okay,
you visited that place and you left it.
okay,
Okay?
okay,
Okay. Now, here's part two. You will have 1 to 2 minutes to answer, to think. Then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to ask. While thinking, you may use notes. You may write some notes if you like.
okay.
Start, please.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay,
much. You may
thank
start.
you. Well, last 2 week, uh, I have visited the Baghdad International Local Gallery beside the College of the Fine Art, and this place usually have a lot of academic and also interesting people came, uh, revealed their pictures, their sculpture in this art gallery. This art gallery, I think it's built between 1980 and until now still represent a lot of pictures and models that are doing by academic person in serialic and normal painting pictures. Uh, Usually, I'm not interested with pictures and galleries, but my friend, special friend, invited me to attend this symposium and ceremony of opening this gallery again. So I see it a lot of pictures and passionating sense of painting in this gallery. The most interesting one, particularly, as I remember, it's the picture of running horses. This picture give me a lot of expression of power inside because the beach side and this running horses have a lot of power, maybe focus you and make you enthusiastic how these horses go toward the beach. And I think the painting and the art fine details makes you good, have a good mood.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You did well. You did well. Okay.
Okay.
Although you've got some grammatical mistakes, you did well. Okay. Now, let's come here to the third part of the questions. Just a second. Okay. Do you like museums or art galleries?
Uh, to be honest, I'm not usually went to gallery or fine art museum, but if I invited to attend someone, I have no matter to go and see what's the next generation, what's the new about this issue.
Thank you. Is there any need for museums or art galleries in our society?
Um, well, I think it's not my specialty to decide it's there's a need or not, but I think the museum and galleries preserve our culture of the fine arts and have a lot of needs in society that express some feelings of the painter, of the drawer, and also give you some passion when you are watching or seeing this sculpture or painting on the wall of the galleries and the museum.
How can we make museums more interesting?
Well, I think the most interesting point of the museum is the entrance and what the facilities presented inside the museum. For example, if we encourage the entrance for the children, for the age, youth-aged people to go and see what's inside the museum, I think make museum more interesting. Alongside with some facilities inside the museum, preserving the manuscript, preserving the painter, the ancient tools, all of these ideas, I think it give the museum a great impact to still have a great value.
What's your idea? Shall we consider graffiti as an art or as vandalism?
Uh, Fortunately, I think my idea about the museum make the gravity more appropriate than other parts of the art because some black and white lines and scratches give you a simple idea to resolve some problems. I think the painter or the drawer, when try to doing this gravity, the first thing that expressed in their mind is the simplicity. And also the white color revealed the loyalty of the painter when he or she expressed the painting or sculptures.
Thank you very much. Okay, you did really well. I'll stop sharing this test. Okay, doctor.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
uh, I want to explain something really important here. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
in the grammar, you have mistakes when you are really when you mention some sentence in the present perfect tense. You mention the time with it. No, you don't have to do that. Why? Because when you mention the present perfect tense, that means the time in the past is not specified. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, this is number one. When you say, for example, ago, if you use since, yes, it's correct. For example, since 2 years ago, since 2 months ago,
Yeah.
something like that. Okay?
Okay.
Got the idea? This is number
Okay.
one. Number two, I noticed that since yesterday, when we took two tests and now we are taking the third one, you are using to as very. Okay? You
Okay.
got the idea? Okay,
Yeah.
doctor?
Okay.
Yes. This in this case, I don't want you to mention the same point here. Okay?
Okay.
Got the idea, doctor?
Okay, I got it.
Okay, yes. Number three, will and would are different. Will and would are different.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
will and would are different. When you use will, that means it's something in the future. When you use would, no, it means something that imaginative in the future. Okay, doctor?
Okay, okay.
Okay, let us repeat something also about the speaking. Then I will give you 5 minutes to prepare yourself psychologically. Then we
Yeah.
take two other tests, not one other test. Not another
Okay,
test, we'll take two other tests after that.
okay,
Okay?
okay,
Firstly,
okay.
firstly, when you speak, when you have a question and you've got the opportunity to explain something with an example in the past and with something in the future, you will take a perfect mark for this question, or at least you will take an excellent mark. Each question, for example, if the question has 9 points, you will take 8 out of 9 if you do this way. This is really
Okay,
important. Yes. When it comes to the transition signals, so the linking words, you are using them perfectly. Really. This is number one.
okay,
When it comes to the vocabulary meaning words, vocabulary words meaning, you are using them excellently. And that's a great point. Okay.
okay,
Uh,
okay,
your test mark for the speaking of what you have just done is 6.5 to 7. Okay.
okay,
No, I don't want that. The next test, you will have two tests. One of them, I want it to be 7 or 7.5 at least. Okay, doctor?
okay,
Okay, so I want you to prepare yourself psychologically in 5 minutes. I'll
okay,
smoke and go back, really.
okay,
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 I'll
okay.
take some
Take your.
vitamin.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you
yeah.
very
Okay,
much.
no, okay,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay, doctor, are you here? Hello? Okay, doctor. Before we go back,
Okay.
before we go back to the questions, let me remind you of the notes which I said. Okay, to does not mean
Okay.
very.
Okay.
Use very or use so instead. Okay. You
Okay.
may use
Okay.
also quite,
Right. Yeah.
Quite, which means just a bit less than very, which is as the same as very. This one because it's more official. This is number one. Number two, when you use the present perfect tense, use since if you want to use ago, okay,
Okay.
and don't specify the time. You may give a point of time. This is number two. Number three,
Yeah.
would means imaginative. If you use will, that means something that might happen with 70% in the future. And another point which is really important to play with the time tenses. Okay, when I give you a
Okay.
question about benefits or advantages of something, try to give the disadvantages, the opposite of it also.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, okay. When you talk about something, for example, let's say, what do you do in your free time, leisure time, or something like that? Try to give an example in the past and something that you might do in the future to play with the time tenses to get at least an excellent mark. At least, let's
Okay.
say, 8 out of 9 for this question. I mean, okay, doctor? This will
Okay.
increase your marks. This will increase your points in the test. Okay, now let me share the questions. Let me share the questions with you in order to start. Okay, let's start with part one. How would you describe a comfortable life?
Well, I think the most interesting part of the life that you are lived a comfortable and a calm climate and a sense of peaceful place. This is the most interesting point of a comfortable life.
Thank you very much. Now, uh, how are the lives of the rich and the poor different?
Uh, well, I think the most ideas about rich and poor is the border between the rich and poor. So the borderline between the rich and poor is maybe not just a financial. Sometimes you can see a rich people, and these rich people have not a lot of interesting idea about your life of richness, but for poor people, the mood and the life to change. So the borderline between the rich and poor, I think it's not completely clear. Um Financially, maybe appear, but another side, it's not completely clear.
Thank you. How would you describe an average person's life in your country?
Um, well, I think the most person in my country live in an average point of financial and economic state. But we have some poor people, and we have a luxurious life for merchants and so on. I think this ideas it's related to the income and outcome criteria of the person and how they spend uh, economically, monthly or annually.
Thank you. What would you think are the goals that most people strive for?
Um, to be honest, the mood and the mindset of different type of people can change within the time, and every person ought to be change their goals according to the circumstances or situation that they are living. I think the most of people goals that are strive for is related to best life financially, a best life morally, uh, and all of person in our country and almost of country strive for that goals.
Has the standard of living of most people in your country improved over the years?
Frankly, as a matter of concern, I think most of the people standards improved almostly, but not completely. We still, as a people in country, have a lot of facilities to be done, a lot of standards to be accomplished, and a lot of regulations and measure to be subjected.
Thank you very much. Now you will have this part two. You will have 1 to 2 minutes to think about, and you may write notes if you like. Those are the
Okay,
questions. Take 1 to 2 minutes to think. Start.
okay, okay.
Thank you very much. You may start
Yeah.
speaking.
Uh, well, I think the last machine that I bought it recently, it's a washing machine, multi-unit for my car. This washing machine, recently I have been buying it for better washing of my car and other facilities in home. The machine, it's look like a washing, drying, and also a washing machine uh, cleaner that can do all three in one. A three in one may deal with drying, washing, and washing clean in your car and in your home at the same time. I think uh, this machine is completely comfortable and easily handled by you, and anyone can use it properly. Uh, this machine I took it before 2 months ago, and this machine almostly bought it with a convenient price and is suitable, particular more than other machine used in the customer. Uh, this machine almostly has affected my life in a certain point because I need sometimes in weekend to do some workout such as walking, running, and I think this machine give me sometimes to change some of my time work when I washing my car and doing some extra work in the weekend.
Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, doctor. We don't say in the weekend, we say of the weekend.
At the weekend, yeah.
Just a second, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. You should have said of the weekend. When you say before and you say ago, you can't use before and ago at the same time. You need to say but just one word, but
Okay.
just use ago. Okay, doctor?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now, let's come to the other questions here. How would you describe, sorry, how would you describe the lifestyle of people before machines were invented?
I think the life before uh, was more harder than our time nowadays. The lifestyle of the people before machine invention has had a most using a style of hand working, using a daily hard work, not using almost of machine to relieve or to smooth their life needs or demand.
Thank you very much. Which do you prefer? Items made by hand or items made by machines?
To be honest, the items is changed. Sometimes if we have no time, we have need to do best qualities. Usually we need to use a machine, but if we need to be something handicraft, some antiques, and just as these items, we are prefer to do it by a hand and give most qualitative more than quantitative method. So it's a time manner, I think.
Thank you very much. Can you compare modern cars with older style models?
Sure, one of the most interesting things for me is to reveal the differences between the old-fashioned and newly approached cars like Tesla cars or a routine daily cars. Um, the old-fashioned cars almost have a big and thick metal covered with big steering and cushions. But the modern cars have a lot of automatic things, self-automated facilities from windows, from air conditioning, and so on. So the comparison between between the car style and between the accommodation of the car for that time in an old stage.
Thank you. What are the advantages and the disadvantages of modern technology?
I think there a question before that. How have mobile phone changed our life?
Ah, sorry, yes. I could not see it well. How have
Yeah,
mobile
that
phones changed our life? Thank you.
yeah. uh, well, I think the technology entered to our life to change the view of our life to machines to some tools. One of these tools or facilities is the mobile phone. Recently, the mobile phone has been increasing the facilities and approach to communicate with the people everywhere in global and everywhere at any time. So the mobile phone, I think, changed almost of our criteria in living, our criteria in communication, our criteria to doing better for others.
Thank you. What are the advantages and the disadvantages of modern technology?
Uh, well, I think the best thing we are thinking about the technology that broaden our horizon to doing most of things that we need to do rapidly and with a high quality. But at the same time, on the other hand, we can see the disadvantage of this modern technology have some noisy, interrupting, corruption of our life with a different manner of annoying person, annoying criteria, annoying advertisement every time uh, might annoy you in your phone, in your special time. So I think one of the disadvantages that the mobile phone carry out to our life is a privacy, and we have no calm and peaceful state.
Thank you very much. Is your country technologically advanced? In what way?
To be frankly, our country maybe have some advancement or contemporary tools, maybe in agriculture and medical staff. And these both of things, biotechnology, medical facilities, recently have been alarming increase the opportunity to do a lot of things in a proper manner. And I think the medical part, such as surgeries, a lot of medical procedure, uh, maybe do in a special manner using this technology. If I have a chance to assess these both approaches of the medical and agriculture, uh, I would prefer to changes in other opportunity and in other parts of the science and technology, such as education and so on.
Thank you very much. Okay, sorry, I will just take a couple of minutes. Okay, doctor, I will share the test with you. Now, can you see it?
Yeah, now I see it.
Okay. How often do you have or go to parties?
Uh, well, I think the parties invitations usually come to me by special friend, by special members of society, such as medical society. So at that time when they invite me, I go to these parties and sharing a good moment, a good memories with them.
Thank you very much. What kind of parties do you enjoy?
Uh, I think there's a different type of parties in our society. One of most currently doing parties, it's what's related to wedding, related to birthday, and also related to professional parties, such as ceremony, symposium, and such as that.
Thank you. Do you ever visit an amusement park?
Um, well, I think the amusement park is a good place to spend a leisure time with your family. And these parks gives you a lot of opportunity to keep calm, to thinking about a good feeling, have good moods. Uh, so recently, I have I have been visiting this park uh, with my family and spent a good time with them.
Thank you. Have your free time activities changed over the years?
Uh, Well, I think that time activities change with the age, sure, but some of activities not change with the time. For example, when I was a child, uh, there's a lot of activity. I do it with my friend, such as football games, such as swimming, and so on. When I reach to a special age of 40, I still have the same passionate things of playing football and doing a good time with my friend in swimming and squash. I think these activities will not be changed in future, especially these activities in my interesting from an old time.
Thank you. Are there any activities that you enjoy but you are not able to engage into?
Uh, Certainly, there's a lot of activities that we had enjoyed in the past. We cannot enjoy it at this time because it's a time manner. For example, when you were a child, uh, when you was a child, there's a lot of enjoyable facilities such as playing in the street and doing some with your friends. But when you are go more younger, and be reach to a certain time, all of that enjoyable things might not be suitable for your age or for your time to spend it.
Thank you very much. Uh, Let us come to the analysis of what you answer, of how you answered. You answered very well, the first, the second, the third, and the best answer was the fourth question because you played with the time, tenses. This is number one. Number
Okay.
two, you used good transition signals and good words also. You mentioned some other words, but you've got some simple mistakes. For example, when you said uh, a lot of opportunity. It should have been a lot of opportunities. You said football game, it should have been football match. Okay. The last
Okay.
question, you said there is a lot of activities. You should have said there are a lot of activities. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Those are the only mistakes that you had here. And that's a
Okay.
great. That's a great.
Okay.
You did really well. Okay, doctor. Part
Okay.
two. Part two. As they say, you will have uh, those questions to answer, and you have 1 to 2 minutes to think, and also you may write notes if you like. Start.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. You may start.
Well, I think that one of the most important, of the most interesting film types that I enjoy to watching or follow it, it's a dramatical and social related films. Uh, this most enjoying for me because this film give an idea about how the person, the people around the world are treated, being some problems, and how can this problem solved it by them. This type of the films presently uh, have been increasing, alarming around the world. Because I think there's a lot of breakout, there's a lot of critical, a lot of crises. One of them it's COVID-19. These social film or dramas give you a great impact how you can treat or solve your urgent time. Uh, Presently or recently, I went with my family to the cinema last 2 weeks. We spent a good time to seeing a social dilemma. A social dilemma and a great hack is both of them are good ideas for a newly dramatical issues of the film. These both films give you a great and resolving idea about the producer, the character, how change their life according to crisis and breakout. I think thinking about these two films or dramas give you a good sense of feelings toward the urgent time and possible ideas to be subjected in society.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You did well. You did well, doctor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Although you've got simple mistakes, you did well.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. The mistakes that you had, you said, I'm thinking, it should have been, I think. And I
Okay.
noticed that you are using the present perfect continuous a lot. You used it 3 times in this test so far, but you don't need it at all.
Okay.
Okay. You should
Okay.
have said, instead of the present perfect continuous, you should have used the present continuous. The
Okay.
film is increasing. Oh,
Okay.
these films are increasing. Okay,
Okay.
because it means a trend, a changing situation, which we use the present continuous with. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Do you prefer watching a film on TV or in the cinema?
Uh, to be honest, sometimes we have not enough time. We have not enough time to go to cinema and see and seeing a lot of film or newly entered film. So this film may be pass out and you cannot catch it in the proper time. So the time on film watching on TV or in cinema, it's related to a time vacancy. Sure, the cinema have its special sense, a special situation when you have a time and see a big hall and illumination, visual effects. Still, the cinema have a special consideration and a worthy considering opportunity. But if you have not a time, you may be predilected to TV to see what you are missed it on cinema or newly introducing film.
Thank you very much. What you did here is you answered excellently. It would have been perfectly if you hadn't had 2 simple mistakes. You answered the questions 1 and 2 in the same time, at the same time, and that is really perfect. Okay, doctor.
Thank you very
In
much.
the test, if you do that, when you answer, you give full answer by expecting the following question or the following 2 questions that are related to the question, you will get a higher mark. Okay,
Okay,
you
okay,
mentioned the effects of the film, and you also mentioned the reason of the film, and the mistake that you had, you said haven't. You should have said don't have or doesn't have or haven't got. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, let's go to the following question. What's the most important element that makes a film successful?
Uh, I think even the film it's not well presented by advertisement, but when you see the film for the first time, I think the most important things that you are analyze the success or failure of the film. It's related to the character effect and impact of the visual related event or series of the film. This both things accompanied together to give a great success or dropping the film in the future, in my mind.
Thank you very much. What makes film stars and singers popular?
Um sure, one of the most impact things that in the area of concern for the characters, film characters or singer, um, all around the world, we have almostly 6 million of people that followed on TV, on film, or in social media. So these film characters and singers uh, can do a lot of ideas change between the population. So their impact and their effect on population on person give them a good evidence of popularity, raising attraction in the society.
Thank you very much. Do you think they deserve to be so highly paid?
Uh, in the side of criticism about the payment or fees that paid for the characters and for the singers, I think it's mainly related to the profession inside. But almostly the singer or character might give a lot of money, a lot of fascinating things between brands, between shopping items, maybe related to a lifestyle of these characters. It's not almostly related to the cash money or a bank account. But even though these criteria or payment, if pay their character by this high price or given a lot of money, uh, I think it's almost related to a producer or to the impact of this character in the society. Whenever there is a lot of impaction, there is a lot of payment. So it's a value of impact. It's not related to everyone and not related to every character.
Thank you very much. Do you think movies should amuse and entertain people or make the audience think?
Uh, to my mind, I think the values of the film to entertain people or to amuse them, it's it's a value related to whom will this film impact or oriented toward. So if the film issue it's related to the drama or it's related to the comedy, related to the horrible, to the terrible situation, all of these criteria, it's related to the broadcasting people that they will show these films or characters. So I think it's an issue related and the type of film that preferred by this population or impacted by the film producer toward this population.
Thank you very much. Okay, doctor. Really, you deserve 7 to 7.5 for this
Thank you
test.
very much.
Okay, because you mentioned in the question, in the first part, you played with the time tenses, number one. And the second part, you used the word dilemma. You pronounced it dilemma. Okay, dilemma,
Okay,
dilemma. It's okay, the same, two different
okay,
pronunciations. It's a great. Okay, and you also mentioned some other uses. And the third part, the last one, when you said instead of amuse, you used entertain, and that's great because amuse gives the same sense as the meaning as entertain.
okay,
Also, you also the transition signals you used. You played with the time tenses. You used the different words, uncommon words, as we say. You used high, first class words, vocabulary words. We call it first class vocabulary words and second class vocabulary words. You employed them well in the test. You did well, doctor, here. You
Thank you
did
very
really
much.
well. Okay. Okay, doctor. Just a second. Let me share.
Okay.
Okay, doctor. How would you define health and welfare?
Uh, well, I think the most important thing between the health and welfare, it's related to something seeing and something feeling it. The healthy issue, it's related to the human life science, but the welfare, it's related to a financial life best.
Thank you very much. When do you think people should take medicines?
I think it's related to the urgency of the cases and sometimes a preventive measure for different cases. When, for example, if you have an urgent case, crisis, some problems related to the cardiovascular, GIT, you can take prescribed medicine. And when you are above the 40s, above 50s, you can take some prescribed medicine to prevent some problems such as ischemic heart disease and related issues.
Thank you. Uh, when should people go to doctors?
To my mind, I think periodically the people should monitor their health status and recommended to biannually go to the doctor for diagnosis for investigate of the health status because almost of the disease are obscure to people. Some of the disease simultaneously hit the people or person such as cardiovascular disease or renal disease. So a good monitoring, a good inspection makes you away from doctors, from hospital, and from medication.
Thank you. In your country, do people like or avoid going to doctors?
Uh, well, to be honest, the people dislike to go periodically or even urgently to the doctor because of fear from doctor or from hospital. But sometimes people prefer to go to the doctor or to the hospital to check the health status, to check the need or demand for doing some checkout or doing some prescribed things such as medication and mandatory manners.
Do people treat themselves?
Uh, I think that treatment of people by themselves, it's related to some traditional or alternative medicine. But yeah, we should be restricted in taking medication or prescribe everything for our relative by us because some medication have convenient for someone and not suitable for others.
How would you recommend treating a cold?
In my mind, I think the treatment of common cold or common seasonal disease by a conventional method of alternative medicine, such as warm water with honey and such as that herbs, but not recommended to prescribe medication, therapies, a lot of antibiotics because all of these can aggravate or make the common cold periodically came and hit the same person due to reducing of immunity.
Thank you. Now, You will have a subject to think for 2 minutes, and you will, after thinking of it for 2 minutes, you will talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. You may write
Okay.
notes if you like.
Okay.
Start. Okay, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
You may start. You will have 2 minutes to start to speak. Start.
Okay. Well, I think the most important issue in our life is the health. The healthy manner is interesting views of the last years recently because a lot of disease, a lot of corrupting healthy dysfunctions, all of these manner and issues makes the people uh, related again to preserve their healthy issues and healthy manner. I think one of this issue makes the people to keep in shape is a good diet for all ages and all stages of the life. One of the things that are most interesting, and on other hand, the stress regulating lifestyle. All of these issues makes the people, even if they eat healthy food, maybe concerned with good lifestyle, but sometimes stress in the work, stress in the family, stress by negative people, make the people more nervous, more anxiety, and may fail all of other healthy manner. The most interesting and the most significant factors that dealing with the stress, I think, is related to change of mood and may exit from the manner of the stress aggravating factors. All of this maybe makes the people uh, keep calm away from the negative people. So they are accompanied by the positive peoples and go to chill up with the friend, with the family, cooling of the time with a proper manner of lifestyle.
Thank you very much. But you took 2 minutes, 11 seconds. You took 11
Okay,
extra seconds. You need to
okay,
answer, uh, let's say, properly. Okay?
okay.
Thank you. Do you think there should be stricter laws regarding the sales of medicine?
Well, I think the one of the most concerning things of our life is regulations and legislation about the selling of medicine, because it's an urgent issues in our society when the medicine easily prescribed in the street or in irregular and illegal shops makes the random in distribution and random in intake, and may leading to a drugs manner addiction and some health problem.
Thank you very much. Do you think the production of cigarettes should be banned?
Uh, sure, the production of cigarettes should be banned or maybe restricted gradually, because I think almost of people last few decades because of a stress manner of unhealthy problems in the society. The cigarettes might aggravate the problem and may it will lead to a death. All of these issues, if they are restricted or maybe managed well by gradually withdrawals of the cigarettes, restrictions, and uh, banded by some regulations, give you a good impression about controls measure that may preserve the life of the society.
Do you think people are healthier now than in the past?
To my mind, I think the adverse and the opposite, because in the past there is a lot of healthy, a lot of good life manner more than our life, and I think all of these issue related to our crowding life problems, life stress, rapidly life rhythms, all of this makes the healthy drop down and go worse than before.
Thank you very much. Do you think the government is responsible in any way to preserve the physical and mental well-being of people?
Sure, I completely and strongly believe the government have a great impact and mainly principal reason about preserving and uh, conserving of the healthy manner of the population of the society by doing good legislation, good protocols, strategies, and standard to make the people follow it for a good lifestyle.
Thank you very much. Has modern life technology increased convenience and comfort, or has it only made life more materialistic?
Uh, well, I think it's a controversial between the matter of comfortability and convenience and between the materialistic. In some manner, the technology make the life more easier than before, but not as before completely. When we said that, for example, the technologies now, almost of the people spend a lot of time on the mobile phone, on the PC, and on all of these facilities, makes them give a simple or a short time for the sleeping, for a rest, for their bodies. All of these criteria accumulate finally to make the healthier people more and more sick and give them a lot of disease, a lot of psychology problems that may bearing along of the life.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Okay, you did really well. You
Thank
did
you.
really well.
Thank,
Let me tell
thank
you
you very much.
something. You take also for this test, you take 7 to 7.5. I could see that the change. You didn't use two. Okay, that's great. This is number one. Number two, you did not use the present perfect continuous, not an S right place, and that's great. This is number two.
Okay.
Number three,
Okay.
With the grammar, you have less mistakes. You have simple mistakes only. You played with
Okay.
the time tenses. You used also transition signals or linking words in their right places. You started with an introductory expression, for example, well. When you used well, when you used to my mind, when you used other expressions also. Also
Okay.
another thing, uh, you used some words, okay? I mean, some uncommon words, some official words too. You still have some very simple mistakes. We don't say almostly. We say almost,
Okay.
okay? Or we say mostly. One of them, almost or
Okay.
mostly. But we usually use almost. The mistake that you had in the grammar, when you said maybe makes, you should have said might make, might
Okay.
make. Okay,
Okay.
okay. This is the most important mistake that you had. Uh, the other things you did are really well. Uh,
Thank you
okay,
very much.
okay, doctor. Thank you very much. Okay.